Hey everyone, welcome to my No Man's Sky video. This is Shalom Magi, and this is video number 2 of my Ultimate Base Build Mining Base Build video series. So I found a planet that looks like it might be pretty promising, and I say promising because it has a minimal amount of ore elements, right? It only has sodium, phosphorus, and cadmium. I'm hoping because of the fact it only has 3 that maybe it can up my chances of finding phosphorus along with sulfurin and a electromagnetic hotspot. So I just landed right here, and I don't have a electromagnetic, but I do have an ore and I have a gas, and they're both pretty close. Um, so I guess, I'm going to head in the direction and see what this is. And hopefully, as I get over here, maybe I can pick up an electromagnetic hotspot. All right. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, it's an S-class. Phosphorus. All right. So I'm definitely going to set a save beacon down now. I want to try to get that density underfoot as close to 100 as possible. Now, I don't worry much about, there we go. It's an S class, which is great. I don't worry about the classes when it comes to this stuff, um, because I don't stop by my mining bases often to grab whatever. So it could be the worst class in the game, and by the time I get to my mining base, my supply depots will have been full for quite some time. But it could, with something like this, you could throw down one less extractor, right? Because the signal is so powerful, you're going to be mining much more. Where the class could get really, really important would be your electromagnetic signal, right? So I usually use 4 electromagnetic generators. If I have an S class, I could get away with 3, right? But I'll probably just stick with 4 if that's the case. But yeah, so let me throw down an orange save beacon or a red. Okay. And that will work. Hopefully, the next thing will be sulfurin. And, it almost, I mean, if I don't find electromagnetic signal too close, I may actually just resort to using solar panels and batteries at the moment. Um, so, yeah. So the gas is this way. Wow, it looks like it's probably going to be right in the water here. That's fine. We can definitely work with that. All right, here we go. Keeping my keeping my fingers crossed for this one. Sweet. So there we go. And I'm at a good spot. So I'm going to set a green save beacon down right at my feet, just backing up a little bit. All right, there we go. And let's see, since I am right here right now, I'm just wondering, yeah. Okay. Did you just hear that? Right here. When I aim in this direction, between south and west, I get a higher pitched signal on the electromagnetic. That means this direction, I don't know how far, there's an electromagnetic signal, okay? So I'm going to go check that out. Because like I said, if I can get away with electromagnetic, I'm all over that. Still nothing. Okay, here we go. This should be really good actually, because these aren't super far from each other, and I could. What I'm going to do after I get to this spot, put a save beacon down. Let me fire my shield up real quick here. Okay. Uh-oh. Land in the cave. All right. I can't really even see that well because of this storm. All right. We're slowly closing in. Man, really bad terrain though, I'll tell you. Okay. You know what? I'm going to have to use my terrain manipulator to kind of make a little bit of a path for me here to walk on. Unless... Oh. It's right up on top. Here we go. $49 of 50. Definitely throw it. Man, I totally got lucky on that. All right. All right, so now we want to check our distances, right? So you can see over there, I've got my phosphorus node. Ooh, that's pretty far. 975. 698. Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? We'll give it a shot. Why not? What I'm going to try to do is triangulate my position to where I'm in the center of all of these. Or close enough to the center, right? Okay, so 661, 377, and 330. All right. $489, 598, 409. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. Get this thing out of the way. All right, 503. That's pretty good. 250. That's not even a concern. Okay, so actually I'm going to move a little closer to this. So 450 and 529. $500 pretty much. Pretty much 500, right? And what is our gas looking like? 394. So this is perfect. Beachfront property, right? So I'm going to go ahead and throw a base computer down, right? And we're going to go ahead and claim this area. All right. Really good. All right. Well, my first stop is going to be towards the electromagnetic, and that is this way. Uh, Pretty tough terrain, but, we will manage. So anyway, as you see, like before, I've got my build menu. So I'm going to start running in this direction. But first, what I'm going to do here before anything, I just want to throw a light box. I'm just going to throw it right there. Okay. And I'm going to start moving towards this like normal. Now, this is basically, let's just say from the base computer to this save beacon, we're talking 500 U away. Right now, I'm not going to try to go extreme like I did in the video where I was actually talking about the concept of this extending your base. But so anyway, I'm probably going to make 4 connection points. Okay. So this is going to be my first one right here. All right. So at this connection point, and how far am I away now? So now I'm 366. So at this connection point, I'm going to go ahead and just blow a hole in the ground. Not too deep. Okay. And I'm going to throw a light box in there. All right. And while I'm here, this is a little bit more of a time investment up front. I'm going to go ahead and hook up to that light box and then start running back here. But I think I can jump into camera mode and reach this light box. Yeah. And that way, at least I have my wire ran. All right, so I'm going to run a little bit past this. .304. See if I can get to like a little bit further if I can. Yeah. And again, like I said, I'm not going to push it to the limit. I'm just, so yeah, this is tough up here, this terrain. But I think right here is probably fine. Okay, so I'm going to head up here. Now, I don't have to worry quite as much with these holes because this is just electric wiring, but I'm going to act as if I'm putting pipe in the ground. And in that situation, since I'm so high up on the mountain, I'm going deep. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a light box in here. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and connect my wiring to that. And I'm just going to get to this other spot. Now, there's something I forgot to do, which I usually do. Okay. go into camera mode, I should be able to reach it. Oh, wow. It's, okay. There it is right there. Normally what I do, because it's pretty easy to lose your connections, I normally use a flag. Now you could just, if you don't have access to flags yet, you could just pretty much just stack this wall, right? You could just stack this like 3 high, and you're basically not going to lose track of where that is. That's pretty obvious. But normally I use a flag when I do this. But I guess, yeah, I guess I'll just use. Man, this is rough. Yeah, I'll just use these wood walls. Why not? Hey, so I'm going to see how far. You know what? I need to make another tunnel here just so I can kind of stand. Okay, I lost my build menu. Now I've got it. Okay. So, and how far am I? I am 190, so that's not bad. Well, let's grab that, go into camera mode, go way up high. And I think I'll set that right there. Okay. And let me go ahead and throw another 2 of those up there. Now, I actually forgot. I think I forgot to put a hole, or well, I need to put a hole in the ground here, but man, this is kind of. Oh, I don't want to fall in the hole though. So let me make an area where I can like stand. Okay. And again, I'm gonna throw a light box in this hole. And I'm gonna hook a wire up to that. And this is just one extra step I'm doing now so I don't have to do it later. This is pretty rough terrain, so, the sooner I can get done with this part, the better. And there we go. Okay, I'm back. And I'm a little bit beyond the last wall we just put up, but that's okay. And like I said, again, I'm not pushing it. So I'm going to get my little extension wall here. And I'm going to put that, I think right here would be a good spot. That's a low spot, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So let me go ahead and get to there, which is no problem. And I'm just going to go ahead and put another pretty deep hole in the ground. Okay. In goes a light box. And I'm going to hook my wire up to it. And that's another reason I'm not trying to make these super far apart in the actual build itself, because I got to run back to the other spot to get my wire and hooked up. But I should be able to do it from right here. Here we go. All right. Oh. All right, so I kind of lost track of, there it is. All right, so I'm just gonna throw another 2 pieces of wall up on that. All right. All right. So this is going to be interesting, okay? Um, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to blow out part of this mountain. Now, once I get the building up, it doesn't matter. The mountain will grow back eventually. It'll grow right into the building. It doesn't matter. That's not going to affect the electromagnetic generators, and probably won't even really see it because the building will be there. So let's get started. All right, so what I want to do is take a triangle and I want to line the point of it up right in the middle of that save beacon. And then I'm just going to build a sort of hexagon, octagon shape right around that. Okay. And there we go. And let me just kind of get rid of this trash. Again, not going to affect nothing, but it's just going to make it easier to watch and see what's going on without that junk there. Okay. All right. So now that we got our floor down, whether you choose to do a floor like this or you just make a simple square, it does not matter. I'm going to move this save beacon out of the way for now. All right. And I use 4 of these. Okay. All right, I'm back, everyone. So I almost forgot, but I wanted to. So what I need to do here, what I want to do, I'm just going to kind of flatten a little bit of this, right? So a good thing to do is, if we look, our base is basically right there. Okay, so in that direction, so right next to the floor here. Okay, I'm going to blow a big hole in the ground like I've been doing. Okay, and I think that's deep enough for what we need. And I'm going to go ahead and put my last light box in here. And I may actually be close enough to where I don't have to move, where I can just take my wire, hook it up, and take it right down to this light box. All right, perfect. So all our connections are basically done and they're out of the way. All right. So let's go ahead and I put as you see, I put a electromagnetic thing here. So I just need 3 more. Okay. So nothing fancy about this. This mountain's going to grow back, and it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to, throw my 3 down. Now I might straighten that first one out just a tad bit to make it easier to make my connections. Right. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to adjust this first one a little bit. Yeah, just like that. Now, what I want to do before I do anything else, I want to go down in the hole, hook a wire up, and bring it right up to this one. So now we have power back at the base, okay? And then I'm just going to run my connection around, okay? Right to there. and then this is the last one. Okay. Now, yeah, there's a gap between these, but you can see they are all hooked up, and that's all that matters. And you know what? The storms here aren't that bad, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build me a little roof over my head, right? And maybe throw a wall down just to protect myself from the elements. And there we go. I'm good to go. All right. So again, however you want to build this, if you want to follow the way I do it, or you want to do it, you know, a different way. See, I use concrete for my foundation and for my first tier of walls. All right. The electromagnetic area is going to be a little bit different than the others, but this is generally the way I do. I do my builds. So I've got one layer of concrete. The next is triple pane windows, the wood ones. All right. And I really like these timber triple windows. They look really nice. And also the cool green magnetic foggy glow you get kind of just shines through them. So that's our second tier. And then the last tier, I used the top section of the wall, which is the vented, just like that. Sometimes snapping these on is a little tough because the weird angles, but it's not too much of a problem. Now here's a big problem, but there's a very easy solution. It's pretty much guaranteed. So good luck trying to snap a triangle to the roof. It's just not going to happen. What you do in that case is you take a flat floor panel, could be any material, metal, wood, concrete, and you put it to the outside wall. In other words, you set the floor panel to the opposite side where you want to make your connection, and just like that, boom, makes it instantly. And also, if you look, there's a little design, a dark spot at the tip. I'm going to line them tips up to create a cool little design. Sometimes it's real dark out when you're building and you can't see the difference. Just go with the wood grain, right? If you follow the wood grain, you see it's going different. If I do that, then it all works out. Okay. So basically, perfect. So then I can take these walls down. All right. So I don't leave my bases floating. This is just a preference thing. You don't have to follow this. I always make it look like, there's some level of realism to it. Now, in this case, I'm not going to really worry about the back, because what's going to happen here is I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not going to wait for this to naturally restore itself. All right. All right, and again, this is not, you don't have to go through this, right? I want to get this area completely buttoned up, looking good. And so we pretty much have power now at our main base, and this spot is completely done. So I'm just going to go this way and collect my wooden walls, or delete them, right? And since I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and, again, I'm just going to seal these holes up pretty much, right? This is where I was making a little tunnel for myself. Yeah, we'll fix that. Hey, this is on my property now. And, I like my grass cut nice and neat, and I like my mountains, nice and smooth. All right, so just gonna get rid of them walls, and I'll go ahead and seal that up. Nothing but a thing, okay? Go ahead and seal that hole up and get rid of this. All right, and that is pretty much all she wrote as far as, the electromagnetic part. All right, so I will meet you in the next video.